Hello, welcome to another video from the Good Shepherd, where our focus is to save souls. Today we're going to talk about how to get a high value man. So I watch other content creators and I watch YouTube and black men and black women talk about high value men. Men talk about being high value man, and black women talk about how to get a high value man. So we're going to focus on the how to get him. We're going to take our examples. First of all, from the book of Ruth, and then second from the book of Esther. Ruth was a Moabite. Moabites and Israelites were enemies back from when they were in the wilderness. The background was that the Israelites had help asked for help for the Moabites, and the Moabites didn't extend a helping hand. Therefore, because of that, there was enmity between the two. So you go to the book of Ruth. Everybody pretty much knows the scripture. So Ruth was not a woman of high value. She wasn't. She was pretty much an enemy of the Israelites. So she should have never really had the opportunity to get with a high value, high status man such as Boaz. So how did she become an enemy to a woman of station through her marriage with Boaz? Also, through her child, Yahushua, you can trace Yahushua's lineage through Ruth as well. So we're going to discuss how that happened. First of all, she had a good mentor. Her mother-in-law, Naomi. And a lot of times we understand that a lot of women, whether they're black or not, don't have good women as mentors. You know, they don't have any women of wisdom. Even out in the world, there's very few women of wisdom, I think, left in this age that's really trying to guide women on who they should talk to and who they should entertain. A lot of women are getting their advice from their mothers, who are already broken, whose selection is already faulty. So now you have young women getting advice from other women who are also broken and whose selection is also faulty. So that was the key. You know, Naomi, her mother-in-law, was a godly woman, a wise woman. So that's one. You know, young women do need mentors in their lives. Same godly women, or if you're the world, women of wisdom. You know, who knows what it takes, who can position you in a place to be able to navigate and get to a man of high value. And a lot of times, the women just ain't listening. A wise woman could be telling the young women, this is a man of high value, this is the man that you should chase, or this is the man that you should pursue. because he is a man of integrity, got good income, man of integrity. But the young women don't want him because he boring. He ain't exciting. He ain't no thug. So it could be a combination of not having good mentors, women not having good mentors, or women having good mentors but just not listening to them because they too busy. They're enticed by what they see. Now I have talked to a lot of young women, and I told a young woman she a good girl too. She was a good girl. She came from a two-parent home. Unfortunately, her parents did divorce, but her mother and father still got along. They had an amicable relationship. And the father was very much still involved in their lives. So even though they were separated, they still had a good relationship. She worked two jobs and she was going to school, but she had an issue with dating thugs, and I'm like, thugs and scammers, you know. And I was considering her, I had a leadership position at a particular job that I was working at, and she was a Ruth. When I worked, this is what she would literally tell me. She would tell me, "Don't worry about it. I got it. Go ahead and do your paperwork or do whatever you got to do. I take care of this out here, and I have to worry about nothing." And I was praying to the Lord about her, and I was like, "Lord, and I said, let's go out or whatever." But she knew I want to marry her. A woman like that is real, real well. A woman that's submissive, that's compliant. And she was working in my field. She was, you know, and I was praying, but she didn't want to get married. She did not want to get married, and that was the issue because I was ready to be married, and I saw the potential and the character in her, but she was too busy, chasing the scammers and the thugs, and it was what it was. So okay, so I just kept it as a mentorship relationship, and I encouraged and I mentored her, and I told her, I said, look, you smart, you on point, you should apply for a leadership position in the same company, and she did. She applied for a leadership position in the same company, and she got it, and I encouraged her to do so, because I saw her potential. And so she did, and she went on, to grow. And I saw her again. And we were talking, and she was like, you know what, I was at the store, and I was buying my shoes, and this good-looking guy, with money and what have you, and status, came up to me and said, well, you don't have to buy your shoes, I'll buy them. And he bought them, and he bought the shoes, why? Because she was the type of woman that could get that type of man. But she was fussing because he was divorced and he had kids and things like that. And I said, I understand that. I said, but you don't know the situation with them. I said, you don't know why they're divorced. It could be no fault of his or hers. I said, so don't judge him because he divorced. He's a man of status. He had his own business. So obviously he was a successful businessman. And with him being able to take care of his business, I said, if obviously he can take care of his wife, his ex-wife and the kids, and if he wanted to get married again or start a relationship again, obviously he's making enough money to be able to take care of a new wife if he wanted to, his ex and his kids with his ex. And I asked her, I said, I understand what you're saying. I said, but the man I said, if you wanted to not work and stay home, I said, could you do that with the current man that you were with? She got quiet. The current man that she was with, he was a scammer, a thug, a Pookie Ray Ray. She got quiet. Her silence meant that no. And I asked her, I said, then why are you dealing with men that if you wanted to stay home and not work, he can provide for you to do that? Why? I said, why are you wasting your time with him? And she worldly girl. She was a worldly girl. And that was one of the reasons why it didn't work out, because she was worldly. And I prayed on her, and the Lord just said, she's not the woman of promise. So I said, okay. She wasn't the woman of promise, but I really cared for her. But the Lord said, even though she's not the woman of promise, he did promise that he would take care of her. And he has, you know, and that's my thing. Women say they want high value, they want a high value man and things like that. But, they say that, but they still go after the thugs and the scammers and the Pookie and the Ray Rays. I'm not fronting on them on that. But I ask them, if you just want to have fun and that's all you want to do, that's what you're going to get. you know. But if you're looking for a man that's going to seriously take care of you, that you can build with, you're not going to be able to build with that. And I think a lot of the women don't want to build. You can't say that you want a high value man and things like that, but you dating and getting pregnant and dealing with men who can't build. It's very hard to build with a scammer or a street dude, because there's no stability there. At any time you worried about whether he gonna get caught up, being caught up, whether he gonna be dead, he gonna get shot, he gonna be in prison, and things like that. So there's really no stability there. It may be fun, but there's no stability. But I think a lot of women really don't want the stability. They want the excitement. So you can't say, if you want a high value man, the woman herself has to be stable. She has to be ready to be stable. Because being with a high value man is about stability. It's not about excitement. Do you want to be in a stable relationship where you can build? And with the young lady that I was talking to, she didn't want to be in a stable relationship where she could build. Until she could see how being in a stable relationship could maybe benefit her. So women tend to look at relationships as far as benefit. A woman ain't gonna be in a relationship unless it's going to benefit her. And a lot of times, women find out also that when they begin to date a high value man, it doesn't benefit her as far as her excitement. A high value man is very stable. If you look at Boaz was very stable. He wasn't about the BS. He told Ruth, stay here on my land and don't go off. And she did it. He inquired about her. And everybody had a good report. She ain't running off in the cornfields with the young men messing around. She come to work, she go home, and she take care of her mother-in-law.